on. Hello, welcome to Retro Cheese Review, where I force my friends and relatives to watch cheesy movies that I love and make them review it. Today with me is my friend Mai. Mai, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mai. I am, yeah, just because I am a good friend, I am doing this for our beloved Trevor.
Yes. So today we'll be doing the greatest movie ever made, also the greatest toy commercial, and the greatest rock opera ever made, Transformers 1986. The reason that I chose Maya to review this for me, I actually have several friends that love this movie dearly, like I do. Maya absolutely fucking hates this movie, so I thought it would be hilarious to make her watch it again. I actually made my wife, her husband, watch when it re-released in theaters. And what did you say, Maya, at the end of the movie?
What the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah, which was hilarious. So a little background on this movie first. So this movie came out in 1986. It was 2 years after the popular TV show came out, Transformers. It was basically, a great way to, like, around the same time they were pushing, the G.I. Joe movie. It was kind of a big, release. A lot of kids loved it. And also a great way to launch a new toy line. They did the same thing with G.I. Joe. Kill off a bunch of characters, release new characters. As a child, I fucking loved it. As an adult, I still fucking love it. It's amazing. They got Leonard Nimoy and Orson Welles, for God's sakes, to do this movie. I don't know how, but they did. Looking at the Rotten Tomatoes review, so let's go ahead. So Rotten Tomatoes, they gave it a score, the critics, of 62%. The other 38% of critics can go to hell. And the audience score was 88%, so 12% of people are dumbasses. So that was the Rotten Tomatoes review. So getting to that, I want to start, before we really dive in, with the opening, just to kind of set up how fucking awesome this movie really is. I'm gonna start with just as much of the opening as I can kind of get away with. Okay. Yeah, just realize that I'm running it through my speakers, so I don't know if you guys can even hear it. There we go. Yeah. All right, and cutting that out so that it doesn't get copyright struck. So before we really dive in, I'm gonna give it kind of, what I thought of this movie as a child, what my retro, what my nostalgia review was, and I would give this movie 10 dead Optimus Primes out of 3. I know that's a weird review, but that's what I'm going to give it. I fucking love this movie. That was my, as a child, I was like, Mom, Dad, let's buy all the new toys. This is so much better than G.I. Joe. People who like G.I. Joe hate it. I love G.I. Joe at the time, but, I was like, fuck G.I. Joe. Let's watch Transformers. And comparing it to my review of the Transformers Abomination that Shia LaBeouf was in, that was done by Michael Bay, I would give this, it's 10 times the movie that Michael Bay's garbage is. Now, I don't remember, did you see this as a kid or not?
I don't believe so, or if I did, I have absolute no memory of it. As far as like the actual cartoon show itself, I think I did watch some of it, but again, I am much older and I don't remember a whole
Mm-hmm.
lot from way back then. So,
That
but I know that I did like Transformers, like as a toy, and probably some of the cartoon too. But I don't think I saw the movie as a kid.
So didn't you have no way to really do a nostalgia review? So I'm gonna do kind of a breakdown of what I thought the plot was. Now I've seen this dozens of times, so I can kind of go through the plot. First, the main thing that the plot is an excuse to do one long music video for Stan Bush. So Stan Bush does like 90% of the music for this. He's also known for doing like the theme to, I think, the second Kickboxer movie. He does the end credit theme for the Power Rangers movie. Basically, the guy just writes 80s montage music and is amazing. The first one, everyone knows that Transformers theme that he redid. He's also got, the touch, which is, amazing. Like listen to that. Listen to that goddamn 80s majesty. Look at that. Just some. Okay, that's enough of that shit. So, like, I'm gonna openly admit, I'm a little bit biased because half of my Spotify playlist is music from this guy. But kind of diving in, the movie dives in really freaking quick. Essentially, the Autobots are about to make, their final killing blow on those damn Decepticons. They just need to get, more John cubes from, Earth first. But the Megatron and his Decepticons go full like terrorist mode and hijack a plane. Not even joking, and they use that to try to take down those Autobots once and for all. They're basically killing everybody. We got to scrap the whole toy line. They decided, to awesome '80s music, until Optimus Prime shows up and just starts wrecking everyone's ass with the help of the Dinobots. There's a battle within the first 10 minutes between Optimus Prime and Megatron, where Optimus Prime just absolutely wrecks Megatron shit until, freaking Hot Rod gets in the way, dumbass Hot Rod, and Optimus Prime ends up, taking a death blow, but so does Megatron. So there's the whole...
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, like, spoiler, like, Optimus Prime dies in the first 10 goddamn minutes, it's all sad. There's like literally a death scene, with Optimus Prime. There's like, this old, he's all dying here. That's good enough. For some reason, he gives, the Matrix, cube to Ultra Magnus. I think it's because he's another semi. It doesn't even make sense that he becomes the leader of, but it's fine. No one cares about that, guy. He's a Transformer I don't remember as a kid, but he's a fellow semi, just like Optimus Prime, so he gives it to him when he dies. Meanwhile, Megatron has also taken a death blow. Starscream throws his ass out in the trash, only to run into Orson Welles, who's a giant planet-devouring thing, who turns him into Leonard Nimoy for some reason and gives him a cool new, toy upgrade. So now, like, he's a cool new upgrade that they can sell for probably like $50 more for the toy, but he's got Leonard Nimoy's voice. A bunch of other shit happens, fights, new Transformers, cool 80s music. There's a Junkbot planet where Weird Al's, Dare to Be Stupid plays. And then eventually, Ultra Magnus also gets killed. They end up all eaten by, Orson Welles, until Hot Rod, the one who just fucked up and got Optimus killed, he pulls the Matrix open, and it's till the day that all are one. Yay, he becomes Rodimus Prime. Great new marketable toy, and we're good. And then it's over. That's like the plot. It's really badass. There's a lot of cool music, and we get a lot of cool new toys to buy. Hot Rod literally becomes Rodimus Prime. I don't think they ever mention that in the movie. And then there's Backlash, and in the TV series they bring Optimus Prime back like a season or two later, and I think they scrapped the entire idea in the G.I. Joe movie of killing the main character also, because it was the same idea. But so many kids fucking hated it. So, looking back, like, you just rewatched it. What was your take on it? What did you take away from the plot? I want your description, because this is, the super fan description of it. What is yours?
Okay. So, I suppose what you just described is technically correct. That is technically what happened in the roughly hour and a half or so of this animated thing. I mean,
That's what you're gonna call it, as a thing.
yeah, I mean, it's. I think maybe they were just like tripping on acid or something, or were like just really bored and couldn't think of like, well, what's gonna happen now that we killed off, our fucking main character, Prime?
The first 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yes, here's what happened. All of a sudden, yeah, there's this, big giant thing that's, that can devour and destroy planets, which, oddly enough, they only find other planets with other robot-like transformer-like creatures.
It's Robo Galactus.
Yeah, I mean, okay, sure. Which I thought was kind of interesting. I'm like, they are traveling all throughout space, and yet all they run into is other robots or other transformer like creatures. But okay, whatever. So, yeah, and then meanwhile, Autobots and Decepticons are duking it out. They're like Autobots roll out, and stuff. But they're like, oh shit, we're not quite armed enough. We gotta, build our shit up, and then we can go beat this motherfuckers. And then, yeah, Megatron, has this little spy thing, and they find out. They're like, haha, we're gonna go get those damn Autobots. And then, so yeah, like you said, Trevor, fight by fight, Prime dies. Oh, sad. And th- and then,
Saddest death in movie history.
yeah, sure. Um, and then so as he's like laying there dying, Prime's like, "Well, hey, dude, you kind of look like me. We must be bros. Here, you can be the next Prime, so that kids can recognize, this is what the leader should look like."
This should always be a semi.
Yes. So, and then so Magnus is like, and then so fight, fight, fight. They like kind of get separated into a couple different areas, and so like, what's his face? Yeah, I agree with you. Hot Rod fucked things up. If it wasn't for
Yeah.
him, Prime wouldn't have fucking died, or at least would have had a better fucking chance.
No, that's the whole point. That's why it's a redemption arc for like the entire movie is a redemption movie. It's a toy commercial, a music video, and a redemption movie all in one. That's why it's the greatest story ever told. You've heard it here. Better than the Bible. Greatest story ever told.
So, anyways, let's see. Yeah. Um, they, big battle, and then they're just like, oh, I don't understand, like, how, they figure out you know, how they end up on these other planets or whatnot, and then eventually get back together to fight, what's his name? Unicron? Orson Welles, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Unicron. Orson
Yeah,
Welles.
Unicron. Yeah, who, all of a sudden, then he becomes this big, giant, basically transformer instead of, like, a metal planet, apparently.
Coolest action figure ever. Because
I
they
mean,
actually sold a big Unicron base that transformed into the robot.
I
I was
mean,
too broke to buy it
that
as a
would be
kid.
cool.
They sold it. I was too broke to buy it as a kid, but it was definitely like it. I think they literally are selling it because I never saw Rise of Beast, but I think that Unicron, like spoiler, but I think Unicron's in it. I heard, and I
I
know
have
that
no idea.
they're reselling like a Unicron, and as an adult, it's tempting to be like, I couldn't afford that as a kid, but I can afford it now.
But should you?
A, a little.
Hmm. All right, well, I'll let you decide that. So, okay, from a marketing standpoint, yes, you're right. This is a total big, hey, we have some brand new toys, kids. And they're also trying to be inclusive and including the girl, what's her name? RC, who
Yes,
coincidentally is pink and all girly and whatnot.
it's the
Um,
1980s.
I mean, yeah, I get it. So I don't blame them.
I mean, we're
So,
lucky they didn't include a cocaine robot.
hey kids, open up the trunk and sniff here. But yeah, I don't understand how, like, okay, yeah, towards the end of like the big battle, how, like, yeah, they all get eaten by what's his face, Unicron,
Unicron.
and so they're like all inside him, but like he's like basically a big giant factory inside, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and all of a sudden, like, he conveniently has water inside him
Yeah.
too, because like the little human kid, like,
You know, they
gets
had to
stripped
have
away.
they had to have a human child so that you had something to connect to. Because in the
Oh, of
words of Peter
course,
Griffin, that makes it a more special for the audience.
of course. I mean, and of course the little kid, is like, I'm helping. I have my daddy's, little
Ro-
exosuit.
Exosuit, yeah.
and I'm wearing it, and even though I think he's probably dead, but oh
Yeah.
well, I get to hang out with the Transformers.
Yeah, my dad might be dead, but I'm hanging out with giant robots, so fuck my dad. That's pretty much what the kids, he has like a second of grieving. He grieves way more over Optimus Prime's death.
Yeah, like he literally had actual tears.
Yeah, where he's like, "Ah, my dad might be dead. I'm kind of bummed."
Yeah, and then he's like, "Where's my dad?" And then they're like, So,
You
and
know,
then he's like, "Okay, let's go."
if he was a good father, he wouldn't have been in space.
It's true.
Yeah, helping robots while your kid, meanwhile, is on a military base getting attacked by, literally a robot terrorist organization. Just saying.
And I guess they're implying he's like a single dad because they never show the mom.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
mean,
my guess. So
yeah, he's a single father just trying to raise his kids while fighting off, galactic robot terrorism. So he's doing the best he can, okay?
mhm. But still, this kid, he's like, doesn't give a shit about his dad because he's like, hey, I get to wear this cool suit, even though I'm a freaking dumbass.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's a
anyway,
kid. He does fuck up a lot along the way.
which once again further proves my point that kids ruin everything.
They do, yeah.
Even things that are meant for kids, they fucking ruin it.
They're smaller, more stupid adults.
This is true.
Yes.
Which is why, if you are a parent, it is your responsibility to make them less stupid small adults.
Yes. That's the whole thing of what parenting is to make your kids less stupid. Because
Yes.
otherwise they'll be idiots when they grow up.
Indeed. So
We have enough of
anyways,
those.
yes. So anyways, yeah. So I'm. It took me a minute to be like, wait, all of them, all of the main characters are literally inside Unicron,
Mm-hmm.
and so, so why, how are they not like just fucking things up inside? It's like, dude, you can literally kill him from the inside out or
Yeah.
something. I mean, I know he's freaking ginormous.
I mean, he's
and
the
all,
size of like several planets.
right. Well, I mean, again, I get that, but wouldn't that be their plan? Because
They attempt to.
I mean,
And then you got the
sort of.
Dinobots on the outside just trying, not really doing
Yeah.
anything. Grimlock's like, I'm a dinosaur. I'm going to fuck up this planet. Rrr.
Yeah, and I kind of feel bad. Like, why did they make the Dinobots kind of stupid? I mean, just because they're
Okay, so
dinosaurs?
I guess so. I never questioned it as a kid, but
Of
the
course not.
Dinobots are morons, but they're still the coolest. Like, Grimlock's a goddamn Tyrannosaurus Rex. He
Yeah.
is a goddamn Tyrannosaurus Rex that turns into a robot. Why would you want a car that turns into a robot when you can get a T-Rex that turns into a robot? I think that what it was is they're like, the Dinobots are too powerful compared to like our badass Optimus Prime. What can we do? Well, why don't we hit them in the head until they're really stupid? And dinosaurs had small brains, so robot dinosaurs had small brains.
I mean, I guess. So, okay. Here's what I was thinking throughout, like, about half the movie. Okay, so at the beginning when they show Unicron destroying whatever planet he happened to find, which also happened to be all fucking robots or
Yeah, once you
whatever.
leave the Earth, everything's robots.
Yes, because that's how it works. So anyways, and so, they like show like a little shot of like, the city of like, the normal robots going
Hmm.
through their day and whatever. And there are clearly child robots,
Yeah,
right? So it got me thinking, how are they procreating and reproducing and whatnot? And
this is a
because they,
kids movie, Mai.
wow. Okay, so what? But it just got me thinking. So how do those kids grow up? Do they like just after X amount of time, like the adults just start adding on and making them bigger. Like, oh, okay,
They
I
just
get the
like
time for
gather
you to
parts
grow
and
up.
add to it. It's kind of like the first time in Star Trek Next Generation when they introduced the Borg and there's like baby Borg. And then like, when Gene Roddenberry died and his wife took over and actually made the show good, he was like, no, that's really stupid. They're just assimilating. Why do they need baby Borg? Baby robots are a stupid idea. I agree with you.
So yeah, so you can see how much attention I was paying to this movie while
I
I was watching it.
I've seen this movie more times than I can count, and I never noticed baby robots or child robots. So,
I mean, they're just little
you
kids
just
running
picked up,
around.
because here's the thing, I don't notice any of that shit because I'm way too busy listening to Stan Bush, just rock the fuck out and watching robots destroy each other. I mean, it's everything. I just released a video ranting about Evangelion, and, it has badass music and robots fighting, and that's everything I wanted. The great thing about Transformers is it doesn't run it with bullshit. It knows what it is. Let's have robots beat the shit out of each other to 80s music. And that's all that you need in a goddamn movie is robots beating the shit out of each other to 80s music. Why would you want more than that?
See, and that's the thing. I am all for that shit. That's cool and everything, but I don't know what it is about this particular movie. I was, even after just now watching it, rewatching it, I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, you're not giving in to the music of Stan Bush.
I
So,
mean, I guess.
yeah, you're not letting yourself go to the montage music. Or maybe it's just because you weren't as into it as a child. I mean, maybe you needed to collect the Transformers as a kid. I mean, as an adult, I know people who are into the Michael Bay movies, and I can't. I don't. I can't.
I can't either. The first one, like, I could tolerate, but then after that, I was like, no, what the fuck?
Maybe it's not enough Stan Bush. That's the problem. And
Maybe.
too much Shia LaBeouf, not enough Stan Bush, not enough Leonard Nimoy.
You can never have enough Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, everyone knows him from Star Trek. Other people know him from Transformers. I will always remember him as the guy who told me about my resources and stuff in Civilization 4. So, getting to the end, now that you've watched it, I'm going to go ahead and give it, like, my rewatch rating, which is exactly the same. It's, like, I don't remember what I gave it, but, like, whatever the highest rating that I can possibly give to a movie, because it's the greatest movie ever made. What would you give it, Mai? What's your rating watching this movie? What's your incorrect rating?
All right. I would say this is a. You just rolled a double eight playing Jumanji, and now you are fighting off poisonous plants.
That's a low rating. Bringing in Jumanji. All right, well, thank you again for watching this and for suffering through it. I know that you hate this movie despite how much I love it. And thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe, and leave a comment with the next movie that we should review. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, all.